So we've finally crossed the 100-mile threshold on this thing, down up to 142 miles, and today I've done 57 miles. So I drove from my house to my parents to do some help my dad out with some stuff, and got all that done. So I hopped back on this, and I ended up driving to a very familiar location. You guys might remember this area from videos past. As a matter of fact, I used to live right there. Those are the condos that I used to live in. I used to live right in the middle unit, just blocking, you can't really see it from those trees. But that is where the first 12 years of BBISHOPPCM videos were filmed. The entire time I lived there, these buildings were an abandoned motel. Well, not really abandoned. The gentleman who owned the entire complex, I guess he just paid the bills on it, and that was it. He just didn't do anything, didn't open them. And here we are in Crotched Mountain. And that was the Crotched Mountain. Actually, no, it was the original. I forget what the name was. It was something in whatever. Anyway, it is now a dry out house for drug addicts. So it took this place. I don't think it's been occupied for over 20 plus years. And it is now a drug rehab facility, and it is looking good. Actually, they did a nice job with it. They re-sided the buildings, they renovated them, and there is a huge market for drug rehab. So that's what they're doing with it now. So good for them. But yeah. Anyway, so the first 140 miles, this thing is an absolute blast to drive. It really is. And very, very very, very happy with this machine. Obviously no reliability issues, it's too new for that. But really loving this thing. And I don't want to direct too much attention to myself, but yeah, this is where I lived for 12 years. And this particular road, Route 47, is a lot of fun. It's a nice, windy country road, about 40 miles an hour average speed. It's one of my favorite rides. But back to the bike. So it can do, I pushed it to 71 miles an hour, just briefly. It'll do it. But it is really happy at around probably closer to the lower 60 mile an hour range. That's where it's happy. It'll do 70 totally, but it does run out of steam when you get it up there at slight inclines. You start to feel the fact that you're really on a 160cc bike. So in the video, I think I touched 65, which I didn't realize I was doing that. Once I realized how fast I was going, I backed off because that was a little over the limit. But yeah, this thing is an absolute blast. I want to show you guys one thing I added to it. Let's see if I can do this without getting the kickstand stuck in the soft sand here. Now unlock the seat. So I added one accessory. It's got my soldering equipment in here because I needed to solder something for my father. But this is a liner for the cargo area, and this was a really nice find. It is designed for the Honda PCX, and it also fits the ADV since they share the same chassis, engine, and apparently the seat tub is the same. So some of the accessories that are designed for the PCX will fit the ADV, which is a nice surprise. This was like $40, $40, I think, shipped directly from China. And what it gives you is some nice protection against scratches on the inner tub. It also protects items that are in the tub, like your helmet. So if you have a spare helmet that you keep in here for maybe a passenger, it'll prevent it from getting all scuffed up, which is quite nice. And it's held in by Velcro strips, which are included. Not very impressed with the quality of those Velcro strips. I may replace them with better quality ones, but they're there for that reason. And yeah, see, the Velcro is already, it's just coming right off. So I'm gonna come up with a better way to secure that. I noticed a little bit of paint chipping here because of the way the seat, actually it's from these staples. And that is something that started pretty early on. But that's not a big deal. You're gonna expect that kind of stuff. It's you know, what do you want for $6 grand? That's a joke. But yeah, the staples are a little bit too proud right here, and they do rub up against. But when the seat's closed, you're not going to notice that kind of stuff. Anyway, so yeah, this thing is an absolute blast. I got to say, I have more fun on these smaller bikes than I do on bigger ones because they're just so fun and tossable. And it will do the speed you need. It'll keep up with traffic. It'll pass traffic. I won't recommend taking this on the freeway where the average speed is 75 or more, but legally it'll do it. That's the key. Keyword is legally. You can take this out on the freeway in the US, in all 50 states. So that is a thing you can do. Probably not recommended, but in a pinch, if you have to go by a few exits, she can do it. But just stay in the slow lane. That's all. Stay in the slow lane. That's where you belong. far as fuel, let's turn it back on again here. Now would be a hell of a time to have that system fail. So we've done 57.4 miles, and we just dropped down to 6 bars, 6 out of 8 bars. So we burned about a quarter of a tank in 57 miles. That's pretty fair. It's a small tank, averaging 81 miles per gallon on this trip. So that's not terrible. I am pushing it though, I will say. I find it to be very happy. So when you're looking at fuel mileage wise, I'm going to switch this average to instantaneous readout, and I'm going to take another look at that. Elapsed. Oh, that's time elapsed. So the yeah, that's instant consumption, and then this is average consumption. Yeah, we'll leave it at. So I feel that it's happy at around 45 miles an hour. That's when you're going to get your most mileage per gallon out of this thing. 45. I'm pushing it at around 55. And it's happy at 55. Like, it'll do it, no problem. It's not stressing out. So that's good. The engine's not fully broken in, so I mean, these numbers are really just, just for now. Let's just see what it does. But I expect that to improve as it breaks in. I'm still getting used to riding again. I haven't really ridden since 2016 too much. So I have to get used to, the roads and how to turn. Those are all things that I need to reacclimate myself to. But once you get used to it, once you develop a relationship with the machine, it becomes part of your body, and it's like you can just maneuver around things without any, without any hesitation. I managed to do 1,000 miles in a week on my Honda Silverwing. I don't know how, but I did. And that's kind of challenging on this because the weather hasn't been great, and this is like the first day I've been able to really get out and venture out, So without further ado, let's fire this thing up and go home. Needed to stop for a quick break. My hand is cramping up from throttling. That'll happen. Oh man, this thing is more fun than it looks, I can tell you. Alright, so let's figure out how much gas we burned. Started out with a full tank, and we're going to fill it. Got about half a tank and 91.6 miles. Should be about a gallon. One gallon exactly. Okay. 1.6. 1.06. So, exactly 1 gallon from half. That tells me that we're getting an average of 91.6 miles per gallon. So, I'd say that's pretty damn good. I want to take them home. We'll talk. Well, that was my first long distance ride. Not really long distance. I did 91 miles total, or 92 miles. Burned half a tank of fuel, and took it on. Well, it's not really a highway, but it's I don't even know what you would. There's a certain class of road, whatever class below freeway. I took it on that, and I did exactly what I've been warning people not to do, and that's push a brand new engine too hard. But I did exactly that. I kind of pushed it a little bit. I'm starting to feel things loosen up in the drivetrain. It's starting to get a little snappier. And I did push it to 70. I think I mentioned that earlier. Yeah, I pushed it to 70 miles an hour. That's about where it wants. That's about the max that I think she's capable of. It'll probably do more than that once it finishes breaking in. We get some good quality oil in there. A little warning about changing break-in oil too soon. It is actually important that some components wear in. They not wear out, but wear in. And that is where the break-in oil comes into play. That's designed to allow. So it's really, I believe it's just a standard, 10W30 or 5W30 conventional oil. It's probably not a synthetic. You don't want to drain that out too soon, because if you do, the engine will never properly break in, because I'm going to be replacing that oil with a high-quality synthetic. The idea is you want the engine to break down to a certain point and then stop. You want to allow some wear. on a brand new motor. That's how they loosen up. Okay, if you put the best possible oil in a brand new engine, you know, you're doing yourself a disservice. So I'm gonna go the full 600 miles with that oil, and then I'm gonna change it out for high quality synthetic. That's what I'm gonna do. You do you. You do you. I do me. I'm gonna have to get some Novus motorcycle windshield cleaner. This is really dirty. A lot of bugs. I've been getting pelted by black flies all damn day. And yeah, they're everywhere. But I love the way this thing rides. Now it's some getting used to, because number one, I haven't been on two wheels since 2016. It's now 2024. It's been a while. My last two scooters were maxi scooters. The Helix 250 and the Silverwing 600. Those both were built for the freeway. They have a longer wheelbase, they're lower to the ground, and they are nice cruising scooters. This is more of a touring scooter, kind of, I guess, multi-function. This is really good for around town use, and in the rural settings. Like, for example, I did some nice, and I got them on film, but did some nice back roads, very twisty roads. This thing eats them up. Took it on a pseudo highway, as I mentioned earlier, you know, where the top speed, or the speed limit is 55 at its highest, and typically around 50. It did fine on that. I'm not so sure about bringing it on the freeway, even though it's legal. So I did get it up to 70, and at 70 miles an hour, it's still very stable, but it is kind of squirrely because it doesn't have the long wheelbase that a maxi scooter has. If they were to kind of lower it to the ground a little bit more and stretch it, it would be a completely different machine. But it's not a Helix, and it's not a Silverwing. Now that we know what it's not, what is it? What is it? What is it good for? Well, general purpose commuting, I'd say. This would make a great commuter scooter. You know, if you live 20 miles or less from your place of employment. But I didn't really feel too fatigued all day. I mean, I put some road time on it, so. My hand started cramping up. Maybe it's just part of getting old, I don't know. But my throttle hand was really starting to get a little cramped up. Let's take a look underneath. So I'm keeping an eye on a couple of things. Ooh, okay, I'm glad I looked. This right here, that's going to be a warranty claim. We have a leaking water pump. It's leaking pretty bad too. Okay. We need to get this to the dealer. That pump is leaking. So, and you can see it's coming out of that weep hole. So that means the pump seal is bad. So this is why we check this shit out. That should not be happening. So I'm glad we know about it. And, I don't see any oil leaks. That's a good sign. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem for now. But we got to get this to the dealer and file a warranty claim. I could fix it myself, but I would have to buy the part out of pocket. But that's a covered repair. You see that? That is coolant right there. That should not be coming out. That seal should be broken in by now. We shouldn't be seeing that kind of thing. Let's see. Yeah, the kickstand, that's dry. Yeah, that's what we want. We don't want oil pissing out the crankcase seal. That looks good. But at 100 miles, it shouldn't be leaking like that. So we're gonna have to definitely take a look at that. Get it to the dealer quickly, and get them to replace that water pump. Man, I hate to say that, but that's what's got to happen. We won't know what the amount of coolant loss is until it cools down and we can see the coolant level in the overflow tank. So I would say, given right where it is, yeah, we've lost some coolant. Right now that engine's hot. We should be at the upper limit, but we've lost what looks like a considerable amount of coolant. This is why it's important when you buy a new machine, when you buy a new car even, to keep an eye on those things. A lot of people don't think to do that. It's brand new. I shouldn't have to worry about it, right? Well, that may be true, but you kind of do, because you know, mistakes happen, and sometimes parts are defective, and you got to get it taken care of while it's covered. So we will be doing that. Now I know for sure that that is a leaking water pump, so I'm not gonna hesitate. I'm gonna bring it to the dealer. We will get it replaced. So I've got to do that. I've got to arrange something with Amelia to have her drop me off or pick me up from there when I bring it over. So, but otherwise, we'll just, since we're looking at it, well, I'm going to take a look on this side. We're really looking for any oil leaks that could be brewing. I'd say it looks pretty good. Nothing alarming, nothing scary. It's kind of, I think it was like that. Still got all the factory markings on it, so just a little dirty. Yeah, to be expected on a new bike. You're gonna get some of that greasy stuff. So, all right, we have a leak. It's a coolant leak, but we have a leak. Yippee! I'd still buy it over. I mean, I would. That doesn't really. That doesn't. What am I trying to say? That doesn't really discourage me that much, because these things happen. I mean, really, all they got to do is get a new pump, pop it in, and we're fixed. And the pump, I looked at the service manual. It is one complete assembly, so it comes from the factory, ready to bolt on. It should be a quick and easy repair for them. They shouldn't have to disassemble the world, but it has to be done. On that note, thank you all for watching, and I'll keep you posted as to how that repair goes. But like I said, this is why, you know, on a new bike, you gotta really look it over for the first few hundred miles, because you want to get that warranty covered repair stuff done quickly. And don't let it get any worse. See, if I wasn't, say this is another thing, if I wasn't keeping an eye on this stuff, there's a very real potential it could overheat, cause engine damage, and they would then try to blame me for it, for not keeping up on it. So you gotta keep up on this stuff. Also, I'm gonna check the oil level too, make sure it's not burning an excessive amount of oil. It's a new engine, it's gonna burn oil. We just want to make sure that it's within a reasonable range. So until then, folks, you have a great day.